Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at doing another single panel cartoon. This time it's a cartoon I've already done before, and it's in my my first collection of cartoons, NoodlePates cartoons, called Out of the Primordial Inkpot. And the actual cartoon, he says if you can find it, there we go, that's the one. We're drawing that cartoon again. I won't be drawing it faithfully, I'll just be drawing a rendition of that particular cartoon. It'll still be the same joke and everything. Just, you know, it's very hard. I don't like to do the same thing twice. So, well, once again, as I say, whilst we're on the Primordial Inkpot, this is, I think it's about 150 cartoons drawn by myself. And at the back of the book, you've got a special story which was never published anywhere except in the book, involving a character that I created called Granny Apple and her £400 puppy Winston. Like I say, just a little bit of an extra, a little bit of crazy fun. But today we'll redraw that one. You can look over my shoulder and hopefully pick up some information. You want to go and purchase the book, obviously it's one way of supporting me. The rest of it is just to click subscribe, like, all the usual stuff. Down below, any questions, leave them in the comments box and I'll get back to you just as soon as I see them. And in the meantime, we'll get on with the cartoons. But before we do that, a lot of people like to know the tools that I use. And for the border of the cartoon, I use a normal Sharpie. And I also use it in this particular cartoon for the thick lines that go around the Tunnel of Love cave. I'll use a number 3 marker pen for the finer details. The actual cartoon itself is drawn with a number 1 brush. I don't have a particular make or brand that I would say I would stick to. It's whatever works for me. At the moment, I don't know what it is because I use it so often, I've rubbed off all the writing on it. It's just because you're constantly moving it up and down your fingers like that, and it just rubs it off. So I don't know who made it. Probably Dale Rowney. I usually use their stuff, I suppose. And an oil pencil, propelling pencil, a kneadable eraser, speedball ink, ruler, that sort of stuff. Fairly low tech, but then again, that's what cartoons are. So if you want to follow me on social media, please do so. In the meantime, let's get back and let's draw a cartoon, shall we? Okay, so here we go. A little bit speeded up again, as usual. First things first is to set the scene. I don't usually draw any of the characters in straight away, unless of course it's just a character or 2 characters or what have you. I find if we literally or roughly put out where the characters are going to go, then everything stands a lot more squarely around it. A bit like, I don't know whether you had them when you were younger, but you had these scenes where they had, like, you know, old prehistoric landscape, and then you had little transfers for dinosaurs which you could stick on. But I kind of liken it to that, really. The scene is set, now let's just place the characters in it. Once again, start off with the shapes. Always build up the shapes. Without that, you've pretty much got nothing. And then once you have the stance in mind, it's also always a good idea, excuse me for not quite getting anything out there. It's a good idea to think about what they're saying and what pose that they would be in while they're saying it. You know, how would you stand if you were saying what they were saying? So these 2 guys are the fellows who will take your money, and you'll go into the Tunnel of Love and come out. So they tend to wear these bibs or whatever they are, with like a slot to keep the money in. So if you're standing around all day doing, well, pretty much nothing except taking money and watching people disappearing and come back out, and that's it, then you're just going to evolve a stance, aren't you? And that's what they do. So they just stick their hands in their money bags. And there you go. See, mistakes are made. I drew that character a little too big. When I finished him, I thought, oh, he's going to look like a bit of a giant. So I cut him back a little bit, thinned his face down. That's all I really did. I just thinned his face down, and then he works. So yeah, so he'll also be standing, I should imagine, with the same stance. There we go. Because it's what people do. Obviously, in a cool weather, because you're just standing around doing nothing. So he's kind of keeping their hands warm at the same time. So poses, very important. Think about what they're saying, and then place them in a pose that will kind of suit. Okay, so I'll go quiet now for a while, whilst I let you enjoy a little bit of music and keep an eye on what's going on. Right, so once again, I'm back here again now. Can't stay quiet for too long. The boat is set. I put the boat where it is. It's for a damn good reason. They're coming into the picture, so you're drawn to them. Well, you're drawn to the two guys, and instantly your eyes go back down to what it is they're talking about. In this case, this guy's girlfriend. Now, she's pregnant, but according to the joke, he's pretty sure that when they set off on their little road trip, the little boat trip, she wasn't pregnant then. So whatever they're saying, the other three characters have to react to the situation. So he's still got his arm around her, but he's thinking, what happened there? You know? And so she's also going to be looking down, she's holding her stomach, and she'll have to have a look of complete surprise herself. So when coming up with the cartoon, it's always good to remember exactly what everyone's thinking. Always keep that in mind. Right, just a few finishing things off now, and then we'll go into the inking stage. And a whole new set of details. Right, here we go, in with the brushwork. Sometimes start off with the brushwork, sometimes start off with a thicker line, like I mentioned in the introduction, the cave there. Is going to be drawn with a Sharpie, because it's a bit of a blunt Sharpie, so the point of the pen has gone a bit dull, and it's thickened it as a result. So still plenty of ink in there, it's just a little bit thicker. So and also I mentioned that I use the thinner pen, I think the number 3 marker pen, for the fine detail lines. When I use a brush, because I know what I'm doing with the brush, I can do very, very thin lines, very fine lines, as well as some of the thicker ones. And so I don't always need the pen. I tend to use it for stuff like the thin lines in and around the thick lines I use for the cave. That will really highlight it. I really must do a tutorial on the basics of using a brush. I mean, you won't learn it straight out, but if you get some idea about how to use it, then that has to be a bonus, doesn't it? I have got some more tutorials coming up on different pens, the various pens that are out there, and I'll do the same picture. Well, there I go with some thin lines there. You see, it can be done, thick and thin. Yeah, I'll be drawing the same picture, or rather inking the same picture using different pens. That should be quite a bit of fun. Interesting, maybe, I don't know. You let me know. If there's anything else you'd like to see me do or talk about, please put some any comments in the section below, and we'll see what other videos I can do. At the moment I'm just doing what it is I think that you'll enjoy, until hopefully I build up a larger audience and get more feedback. Not that I don't enjoy the feedback I get now, thank you very much. But the more the merrier. We have got other ones lined up. I will be disappearing, believe it or not, into a church and doing some drawings there. There's a reason for that, and that will become more apparent as and when I get round to it. With this COVID thing, you can never tell from one day to the next where you're going to be allowed to go and where you are not. But for now, that's the plan. And also, it's very important to get the expression right on their face, because all their faces, I think I mentioned in the pencil stage, that everyone reacts to whoever's speaking. But you get the body language and the expression right, and it helps the cartoon. I see a lot of cartoons, single panels, cartoon strips. It's all brevity. And brevity is fine, but not to the detriment of the whole cartoon. Keep it simple. I think it was Clinton said, "Keep it simple, stupid," and it's a good thing to sort of keep in mind. But get the expressions right. Like he's talking, he's really obviously, I don't know, something interesting is happening in my life, but he's still very, very bored. But the guy next to him, he's probably just noticing it, but he's still bored. So you have to think about what your characters are doing, how they're reacting to that particular snippet, that moment in time, and do their reactions accordingly. Also, you notice there when I did the water, you could, if you want to, just draw a few wavy lines, and yeah, you've got water. But water doesn't do that. I mean, this boat's coming through, and it'll be sending out concentric waves, and they'll be lapping up against the side. When water does that, it splashes. It's not massively important, and people don't look at the picture and think, "Oh, look, I just noticed that." It's what I call hidden action. It helps to keep the picture in general alive. That's another tip for you. See, I don't think about that, I just do it. So make sure that everything in the picture is reacting as it would. If you were videoing or taking a photo of a moment in time, what would the background scenery be doing? It would be doing exactly what it was doing when you took the photo. And I see no reason why a cartoon shouldn't be exactly the same. So think about the action, think about the expressions, and think about how people are reacting to either the moment or what someone else is saying. All important, and it all has to be caught in a little picture. Right, so I suppose we're coming closer to the end of this now, so just before I sign off, once again, hit the subscribe button, find that little bell, click that, which means that you'll get examples of everything that I do. And I hope to see you many, many more times. More and more things happening, more and more things coming. More of these, more of something else. Who knows? But yeah, and let people know. Share it on social media. It's the only way, especially nowadays when you have to pay for absolutely everything. If you don't have that money, then it's kind of nice if people can support you by sharing it themselves, and that way the likes of Faceless Book and everything don't make money out of what it is that I do. I hopefully get an audience and can build myself up a little bit. That's the idea. Beat them at their own game. Oh, here we come with the Sharpie. See the thickness in line there? That is slightly splayed. So it's causing that nice thick line there. And now the thinner pen line, the number 3. See, just those things there, and it's done. Right, thanks very much for watching and clicking on this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you very much.